So he's been kind of publicly mulling over what he would play. So, Tom, do you know what he's playing?
I don't. He wouldn't say. I asked him a bunch of times. He just wouldn't say. Like he just kept dodging the question. So I was like, I'm not telling anyone. Like I'm not even going. So that's interesting. But I think I have a guess.
Yeah.
And
So
what do you think, man?
I I think he will go with Gro-a-tog. That is his kind of like baby deck. I know he's been kind of down on it, but he's been trying a lot of things. But we'll see. I mean, he's obviously done a lot of work with Replenish as well, and so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Gat because I just felt like he was gonna pivot back to it. Um, and then, do you know Marc Flore what he might be on?
No, I'm not sure. So I'm pretty curious. We shall see pretty shortly. And Lanny was also I think he got top four last year at LOBSTERCon playing Parfait. So he's
Yes.
back again. Hopefully, gonna take down the entire thing. And you know, what's great is that we get to see the Mike Flores decade sleeves on stream once again. This is the third time so far today that those sleeves have been on stream.
Yeah, I gotta get my hands on those.
Yeah, they
I
are.
already reached out to the source. I was like, I'll whatever I gotta pay, it's going to charity. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, honestly, we should tell Sunny who put these together to put up a set of those for the LobsterCon charity. I think that would be one of the hot ticket items.
Absolutely. Just look at that face, so stoic.
When those sleeves were revealed, I said in the New York City Premodern Discord that I was going to build a morph deck just so I could have as many of those sleeves face down on the table as possible.
Or if you're playing, new Magic, you could do what's the new thing face down?
There's like so many variants of
Yeah,
that
there's like
now.
six now. Yeah, some have
Yeah.
Ward. All right, so let's see. Lanny looks like he's on Gat.
That looks like Gat to me.
That is
All right.
hilarious.
What do we see? We see a lot of islands, of portents on the left side. So is this going to be mono blue stifle that maybe? A lot of
Oh
islands.
yeah, I see foil gush.
So I think Lanny has said that he feels pretty good about this matchup in general. Like obviously he played Gat, I believe, against Dreadnought in the last PSS and did not win. But James had like some crazy hands of like double, triple protection. So we can see that Lanny already has a Swords to Plowshares in hand, which will be very useful if this is indeed mono blue Dreadnought.
Yes. And Gat's still like a decent deck. I just know like Lanny felt horrible with just goblins and burn. Um, but every deck's gonna
Yeah.
have like its weaknesses. I mean, just you know, play what you're comfortable with. And it's LobsterCon too. Like I honestly was probably gonna I might have brought Tyler's Tribe. So talk about fun.
I mean that's a deck that's very scary too. I mean, just a lot of people don't know how to play around it. And
Yeah,
so it can just come out of nowhere. So I can definitely see that being a reasonable choice for like a big event.
yeah. And you had a sweet one you were gonna bring.
Yeah, I was gonna bring my own build of Pit Rack Splashing Green. Okay, so we see another portent. So in general, both players are just kind of like cantripping with the best cantrip that Premodern has to offer right now. Just portents, and they're just kind of crafting their hands and feeling each other out a little bit. I think Lanny's probably trying to dig for well, he got his lands, so he's building up his lands, and I think he'll play the meddling mage once he's a little bit more confident in what he's playing against. If
Yeah.
not, he already knows that it's against Dreadnought. But if you just see islands and portent, it could be a lot of different things.
So yeah, let's see if he'll deploy it now or he might wait a little bit longer. Because he can play the diamond.
Yeah, I mean, if he does it now, he goes around days, he goes around counterspell. So
Yeah.
if that sticks, that's going to be a pretty troublesome Meddling Mage. Okay, so he's jamming it. And there is a Daze. So did he have a Mox? I don't think he did. He just has 2 unglued basics.
Oh, there is no diamond? I thought there was. No, yeah, you're right. He does not have Mox Diamond. That's my fault.
I think he's kicking. Oh, there's the
Oh,
Mox
there
Diamond.
it is.
I think he's kicking
I am a
himself a little
visionary.
bit. I feel like he was trying to play around Counterspell and then fall into the Daze, but you know, sometimes
Yeah.
that happens. But I think he still has Counterspell backup and swords, so he's probably feeling okay. He still has no clock though, right? And so Meddling Mage is kind of one of the best things to do there. So I think I see, is that a Boomerang and a Dreadnought in Marc's hand?
I believe so.
Oh, there's the AK.
There it
So
is.
he's been telling us about this AK version. I wonder if he's playing Call of the Herds main too.
I think so. AK, like, it's still like underplayed. I mean, not every deck can, like, like not every blue deck wants AK, but I think like just Tog decks do.
Yeah, I mean it definitely refills your hand, and instant speed is kind of where you want to be at for
Yeah.
a lot of these GAT decks. So oh, he has another Meddling Mage, so now he's probably going to find the right opportunity to play it with probably Counterspell backup. But maybe he's thinking he needs one more island to play around Daze.
Yeah, which isn't the worst thing, but I might just do it here, thinking, all right, he already used one. Like, it's just you got to get something on board.
Yeah, but he's
But
also in a decent
but he's
spot. He
great.
has like
Oh,
2
sorry, go ahead.
counter spells and a sword, so like he might
Yes,
just be okay waiting 1 extra turn.
it's another important, right? So you can, yeah, maybe just do that first, see what's going on.
See a gush, an islands, and a mystery card. He's keeping on top. He probably likes the gush.
Yeah,
Everyone's remembering their portent triggers. That's good. I think we saw in earlier matches, like when people are playing quickly and on stream and lots of pressure, it's easy to forget portent and Urza's Bauble triggers since they're delayed.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lanny has like a lot of land now, so I feel like he's gonna make his move pretty soon.
Yep, here it comes. So now you mage, all right?
Because now he has double, well, I guess he can only cast 1 counter spell, but he also has Gush in hand, so. So let's see what Marc is thinking. I haven't gotten a great look at his hand, I just know that there's a Dreadnought, and I thought I saw a Boomerang. Boomerang, of course, is like one of the 1 outs that Mono Blue Stifle Knot has game 1 against the Meddling Mage. So we'll see if that is indeed a Boomerang. Yeah, I don't know if Lanny has some sort of altered Meddling Mage or what's going on with the artwork there, but
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I just noticed
it,
that.
okay, so here's a hard
Hard
cast
cast foil.
foil. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a Gush. Draws a Gush and a Stifle. Okay, Lanny is setting up the proper stack.
There we go.
Okay, so the Meddling Mage will probably resolve, and it's 99% going to name Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Yes.
Marc can, if that is a Boomerang, let's see, Stifle, Gush, Vision Charm. I feel like the last card's Boomerang, but we'll see. If he does have that, that'll get rid of the Meddling Mage, but he doesn't have enough mana to do that and do the combo in the same turn. So he might have to take a hit or two.
Mm-hmm.
I think that slips as 12-12.
Yeah, 12-12, yep.
Okay, So I feel like Marc has to kind of wait a little bit and set up for a big turn because he needs a lot of mana to do it. Because I think I think it's a boomerang. So he
Yeah,
end
I
of
can't.
turn boomerangs and then does the combo. But I think he has a stifle and a vision charm. So if he wants to rush it, I guess he could do it at the end of Lanny's turn.
Are they 4-0? I think they've been putting the undefeated matches on, but let me find out. Will, are they 4-0 also? Or are they 3-1? Actually, no, they might be 3-1. No, wait a second. Lanny had a draw. I know that. Lanny might be 3-0-1.
Oh, main deck Phyrexian Furnace. That's interesting. This won't really impact Lanny at all. I mean, Gro-a-tog obviously has the Psychotog component in it, but this game will not really be determined by a Psychotog, is my guess.
Okay, so it might be. So I know Lanny's 3-0-1, and then Marc is possibly 3-1 from where they're at table. What do you say, 11?
Yeah, so Chad is pointing out that Furnace will, of course, impact Lanny's AKs, and if he is playing Call the Herd, that will also be a factor as well.
Yes.
But Lanny is kind of like going full speed at this point. I mean, he has plenty of land, he has all of his colors. I feel like this is definitely going to be difficult for the Stifle Knot player to remove the meddling mage and combo off and protect because Lanny has at least one swords and I think a counter spell too. So I'm kind of feeling like this game will probably end pretty soon, but you can never count Stifle Knot out. So we'll see.
Yeah, can we confirm he has the boomerang in hand?
I've been trying to confirm that for
Right?
like 10 minutes now. I see a, is that a
Oh,
peak?
no.
I
Oh, you're
think.
right. I think you are right. Yeah, it's peak for sure on top of his hand, and then I think that is a boomerang next to the dreadnought.
Yeah, the
Looks like the Mirage
Mirage.
one. Yeah. Um, but AK looking amazing here. Again,
Yeah.
getting Lenny so far ahead. So I guess he gushed now.
What, so people are asking Chet how Lanny can fit all of his nonsense like AK and Call of the Herds and stuff like that. What if he's just playing 80 cards? Wouldn't that be amazing? But I
What?
think Lanny for a while now has been cutting out like obviously I don't think he plays any red cards anymore. So like back in the day, Fire and Ice was pretty common. And so
He cuts.
he's not playing those.
He cuts swords, right?
He has some number. He kind of fluctuates with the
Oh, maybe
number.
2 and 2. Oh, there's 2 in his hand.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, and he also doesn't he oscillates between days too. Like sometimes
Hmm.
he's like very anti-days and sometimes he's for it. But if you've been playing Premodern for a while, AK is kind of funny because back when I started in like 2018, AK was like people were down on it because they're like, oh, it's so clunky. You must play intuition to do it, and then you're spending 5 mana to draw 3 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are slowly starting to come around to it. Like, you know, the meta will shift and so forth. But people kind of value that you can just kind of play it as an instant, and that like is pretty helpful. And so, you know, it's people change their opinions.
Yeah, I caught some heat for it when I was like putting it in blue black tog, but maybe just because people don't think the deck's that good.
What's it on the Tom tier? Is it A tier or B?
Bias tier S,
Oh yeah.
realistic C.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah, just trying to think. So the peak was actually nice, right? Because now he has like a full
Yeah.
understanding of what he needs to do.
I mean, he's got a decent amount. He has a counter spell, vision charm, stifle. He just doesn't have the mana to do all of it.
Yeah,
and or the time really.
that's it.
I
Yep.
mean, yeah. So Lanny is floating the 2 blue instead of hard cast Gush.
I still don't know if they're
Maybe
going to
he,
be able to honestly come back from the 2 swords counter and clock. Like, I just don't know if it's going to be realistic, right? Because if you're going to like attempt to boomerang, start vision, use vision charm to phase out your dreadnought. Like, you're not going to have time. Like, you can't block. You don't have the time.
yeah.
Or you let a swords go through just so you can actually buy more time.
Yeah, I mean the Queer and Dry is going to start growing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And he has, even if you remove the mage at this point, the Dryad might just finish the job because Lanny already has at least 3 ways to interact. So yeah, Marc is still trying. It's two dreadnoughts. I don't think that really changes the calculus here. Like he's quickly losing time.
Yeah.
I think if he didn't have that boomerang in hand, he would have probably conceded a long time ago. But the boomerang kind of gives you hope that you can like somehow navigate your way around this meddling mage. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm looking at a gap player who has 7 cards in hand, a meddling mage, and a dryad, I'm not feeling very good.
Moves to discard
And
to
yeah,
discard dreadnought. All right.
what are you trying to find at this point? Like, is he just trying to find another hard counter?
That or a gush, because he's got counterspell. He has a foil, but he played the island last turn. But he can't like play dreadnought, protect, counterspell, and foil. So he might just want to look for. He wants definitely a gush, or I guess islands good also. Lanny
Yeah, and
playing. Oh, I would say he's playing the Coliseum. He'll play that in anything he can.
yeah, he loves that card. He loves it in Replenish. He loves it in Gat. And here it really shows the power of it. I mean, Lanny's hand looks like it's full of gas anyway, but if it
Yep.
wasn't, he can easily recycle islands from Gush into 2 new cards. So he just, I feel like, has everything in his hand right now. And this is like one of the reasons why Lanny has always felt pretty good about Gro-a-tog against Stifle Knot. You just have so many ways to interact.
Yeah. It's really thinking about this opt. I'm just trying to think what that card would be. Oh, wait. It was a portent? Or powder keg. I think that's too late.
Oh,
All right,
there's the
there's a
Gush.
gush. Yeah.
Okay, so this has to be the turn, right? I can't imagine he has any more time than this.
Yep. So
More islands than the powder keg. Well, if the powder keg somehow resolved and made it to 2, life would be great, but I
yeah,
don't think
that's
we
the
have time for
problem.
that. So he's still got 2 blue floating. Okay, so maybe
He's
he is going to
playing
go for
keg.
powder keg. So he's at 8. It's a 2-turn clock right now if the Dryad doesn't grow. He's maybe thinking that he can like boomerang to save another turn and then Lanny recast it or something, and by then the powder keg's at 2. But Lanny wouldn't play it into a powder keg maybe, so maybe that's why he's thinking that it'll buy him enough time.
Yeah. The only issue though is like, what would he's got to use boomerang on the meddling mage, or he can't do anything. And then like keg's not going to get there, and then Lanny can maybe put him on boomerang because he's like hanging in there now. Well, maybe the keg might make him a little
Oh
confused,
man,
but Lanny
there
can
goes
like
another
use his
keg.
swords on his own mage to pump the Quirion Dryad to get lethal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this Stifle Knot list has a lot of main deck artifacts. It'd be sweet if he's also running like misdirection main, because then you're like, I can naturalize this thing, but then
Yeah.
misdirect it to your own like furnace or something.
All right, goes to 4. Keg goes to 1. It's still not on 2 though.
Yeah, so he has to try for. I mean, he just doesn't have enough mana because like if he tries to end step boomerang, that's just gonna get countered, right? And then he can't protect
Yes.
it.
Oh, he has a foil, but
Okay. Well,
it's
let's
still
see.
just not. Yeah. Of course, you have to deploy the counter spell. Now you foil. Even if Lane doesn't have another counter spell, he can just use Coliseum, which is nice. Oh wait, I guess you can keep him off Coliseum, right? With the furnace.
He's taking out the AK. No, he drew an island. Okay, so the boomerang was countered,
Oh,
and now he just dies,
that's it, right?
right?
Yeah, yeah. It's 5
Because
damage coming
yeah.
through.
All right. So that was a pretty long game. It was ever since the mage slipped through. Okay, so Lanny basically had 2 swords and 2 counter spells. So he just it was over like many turns ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see a back to basics out of Stifle Knot.
Interesting.
Do you bring in back to basics?
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I mean Gat's mana is pretty terrible,
It is.
but
It is.
if
Yeah.
they get a Mox Diamond, then like your entire back to basic plan is pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Props to Lanny there. He played that really well. And yeah, like Phil, you mentioned, he's said before, Dreadnought is one of the best matchups for Gat.
Okay, so he's taking out. I saw a main deck Sabo's Web, and or actually I don't know if that was main deck or his actual thing. I saw Sabo's Web and a Winter Orb. Winter Orb, of course, pretty terrible against Gush decks.
For sure. Oh wait, no, I don't think he's main deck Savos. I don't know if he has actually the main deck. He looks like he mixed the sideboard and he's taking out the
Oh yeah,
15.
he's
Yeah.
he's doing the pro technique of just mashing your 75 together and then removing the 15.
Yeah.
Which you do, of course, to hide how many cards you're bringing in. I do not do that. Tom, do you do that?
No. But I get it. But like I do some random bluffing here and there too. Like I'll fake the amount of cards I'm bringing in and pretend I'm moving things around and stuff like that. But yeah, I never got on board with the
Yeah.
15 cards in, take 15 out.
What if instead of that you just board in 10 cards every time, so it looks like you're bringing in a lot, and then you just like kind of take them out sneakily, so people are like really on edge.
That's yeah. I mean, you got to keep your opponent guessing. That's part of the game.
Okay, so in game 2, what does Stifle Knot have to help address this matchup? Anything?
The mono blue version is going to struggle because the deck plays meddling mage, and so the reason why mono blue was like really good coming in was because meddling mage is on a little bit of a decline. Um, but maybe Lanny just kind of next leveling here. You know what? I'm just going to bring it and deal with all the mono blue. Because I'm still, I mean, we don't have any info what's going on with the top tables, but I'm looking for red green oath. You know,
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
Not yet. I mean, it's definitely a very powerful deck that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. So maybe it's just one of those things where like people were scared of too many Sabo's webs, and so they're like, we're just gonna
True.
not play it. And it is an exceptionally expensive deck comparatively to the rest of Premodern. So
Yeah.
we'll
But
see.
it is LOBSTERCON though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like you just want to like again, we were talking about the fun decks we wanted to bring. You also want to just have fun and play your deck.
Yeah, it's true. So Mono Blue Stifle Knot will sometimes have a Brain Freeze sideboard plan to get around stuff like too much removal on the Dreadnought. Do
Yeah.
you play Brain Freeze here?
Maybe because again, mono blue. I'm trying to think how many boomerangs you might be running. You probably need like 3 in the 75 for meddling mage. Um, but I mean, you have keg too, which is nice. But yeah, I think I might add in the brain freeze and kind of go with that angle. I don't think it is a problem. The only thing is like is the clock fast with Query and Dryad?
Yeah. I mean, Gro-a-tog plays a lot of spell or can play a lot of spells in one turn. So like, they are definitely building up storm count that you can utilize.
Yeah.
Though I'm trying to think because like obviously Stifle or something like Gaia's Blessing is a good counter against Brain Freeze plans, which I don't think Gat runs, but Lanny is a bad man when it comes to this deck, so
Mm-hmm.
who knows?
And this is, I think, like one of the best matchups for Gat. Just everything that Gro-a-tog is doing is kind of like Mono Blue Stephanot specifically doesn't want to be dealing with like kind of a fast clock and tons of interaction.
They're the Brain Freezes. I think I
Yeah,
just
he's
saw
bringing them
one or
in.
two.
Yeah, and D's out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it looks like he boarded
Oh
out
yeah,
3.
3 Dreadnought.
Yeah, he took out Stifle. So yeah, he's going the Brain Freeze plan, which I think makes sense. Like Lanny has so much removal, and I mean Lanny knows this matchup, so I'm sure he's like anticipating Brain Freeze as well.
Yeah,
And so I would not be surprised if he didn't like board in all of his Dreadnought removal, but you always have to keep in a couple just to be honest,
yeah. Phil, are you waking up early to watch Euros?
These days I wake up pretty early just naturally.
Right.
Because like we have young kids, and so I'll definitely check out a little bit of it, which is on the Check Premodern Twitch or YouTube tomorrow. I think it starts at like 4 a.m. Eastern, maybe.
Oh yes, I'm not sleeping. I'm finishing
Yeah.
this, and then I'm right into Euros.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Duress Crew is also streaming on their Twitch, which is Duress Crew, and they're going to be streaming the day 2 side event of Premodern.
Oh,
Okay, so
nice. I didn't know they
Lanny,
were going to do that.
oh yeah, so Lanny has a lot of swords in hand, 2 swords at least. So he kept in a couple.
What's the white card that Lanny drew? Did you see
I,
that
I
one?
was just thinking about that. I'm not sure if I know. It's probably some hot tech that he's been keeping secret.
Possibly. Pietro
Okay,
says,
so
"Let's play Magic Online while waiting for Euros." Yeah, I'm down for that.
Marc looks like he has a boomerang, powder keg. I think 2 counter spells, maybe a brain freeze. So he's in it for the long game.
Yes. All right, peek. See what's going on. How do you feel about peek, Phil?
I think it's a disenchant. So it might be the Mercadian disenchant. So 3 swords, a disenchant. Okay, so I feel like if you're Marc, you're kind of happy to see potentially 4 cards that are dead. I mean, the
Yeah.
powder keg is definitely a target for the disenchant. So the 3 swords are potentially dead for Lanny. Though the double AK is definitely a good way to start reloading. But Lanny also doesn't have a clock, This is where Mono Blue Dreadnought, if you're going the Brain Freeze plan, wants to be, right? You just want to
Yep.
like kind of make some land drops and just kind of wait until you can chain a whole bunch of gushes and vision charms into a Brain Freeze.
Fourth best disenchant art. um,
I
right.
like the Mercadian one. I know it's not for everyone, but I think it's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. It's like so bad, it's amazing. I think it's actually Adam Rex or
I think so.
someone saying
And
that. Yep.
I think BK and Michael Hoyt do a great disenchant
Oh yes, yes.
imitation. So if you see them, ask them to do it for you.
We need that on a shirt.
Okay, so this Coliseum is pretty big here, actually, if he wants to get rid of some of those swords. He, of course, needs to get Threshold before he can do that, but...
Yep. And the turn flash for 1.
Yep. So what do you think? Is that an ivory tower? Yeah, it is.
Whoa,
Interesting.
crazy! That's sick. I love
See
this.
this
Buy time, or you can brain freeze them later.
yeah, this Stifle Knot player is like settling in.
Yeah,
I have not seen this out of a blue dreadnought deck, but Mark is like packing like all the little artifacts.
no, it's amazing.
Because yeah, I mean like Gat can put together a fast clock, but it definitely takes some time. Like Psychotog takes some time to get going. Meddling
Yeah,
Mage is obviously 2 damage a turn, and then Aquarian Dryad, like again, also takes time. And so, the Ivory Tower here might buy you 2 to 3 turns, which is what you need.
yep.
So
Because now the pressure's on Lanny to find a threat. I mean, so like also the Ivory Tower plan is interesting because Lanny's bringing more like defensive interaction in, right? Like,
yeah.
um,
So do you think he names Brain Freeze here?
if he does,
Because like you're covered with the Dreadnought plan with
yeah, I think you
three
have to.
swords.
Yeah, and he's gonna be forced to counter this because yeah, all right, makes sense. But he does have the battle. He still has powder keg in hand, right? So he was covered if this got countered or something.
Yeah, but Lanny still has the disenchant. I think
Yeah,
because he knows Lanny has the disenchant, he's gonna see if Lanny will like loot it away with Colosseum before playing it, perhaps.
yeah.
Oh, and there's the fourth swords. Um,
So
yeah, we'll
wait,
see.
Lanny has Call the Herd's main, right? We just need to see any. I wonder if he like boards some of them out because I was even thinking if he boarded like with all the interaction he's bringing in, he could even board out like Aquarian Dryad.
Yeah, I feel like Call of the Herd is kind of needed in this matchup, or
Right? Yes,
because
you
like
need a threat,
yeah,
but
that's the kind of nice thing about Ivory Tower here, right? Is that like sometimes people just play Meddling Mage against Dreadnought, and then they name Dreadnought, and then they just start beating for 2 while protecting the
yeah,
Meddling Mage. But this Ivory Tower basically makes it so that you don't make any progress. Like you need multiple things. So
yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
The only reason I was thinking Call is just bad is because like is something you might board out and is because of it's just 3 mana. Um, and again,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
bringing in so much like what are you? Okay, yeah, the
there's
Ivory
this
Tower.
enchant for
That's
the
hilarious. Oh my
oh,
god,
it's getting
Lanny.
phased.
Lanny needs to know what's up now, though. He's got to know that he's protecting this for a reason. Dreadnought's probably not in the deck.
I don't know. Okay, so like some people in chat also say that Call of the Herd is not good against Dreadnought. I'd be curious what other people think. Like, I mean, I guess if your deck is already packed, maybe you don't want them. But I was always kind of under the impression that like, obviously, if they get a Dreadnought and you have a 3/3 Elephant, it's not great. But at the
Yeah,
same point, like you can't let Dreadnought just like infinite time to sculpt their hand. So I don't know. Like I feel like it's a good call. Pun intended, I guess.
I like it.
But I guess it's still to be determined based on your play style.
That's what makes Magic great, though, right? Some people might be like no, and then some people might think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, Call of the Herd is also one of those cards where at the begin, well, when I started playing Premodern, so not the beginning, but like in 2018, it was not really an appreciated card. But in the last like year or two, I think people are starting to reappreciate how good it is in terms of just like 3 mana 3/3 and then another 3/3 that you can kind of like space out can be surprisingly resilient and good.
Yeah,
It feels slow, but even in Type 2, I remember opening up one of those in an Odyssey pack, and I was like, this is like a terrible rare. Like, why do I want a 3/3 elephant? But it's just like when you start playing it, it's like really good. Oh my god. So
it's
second
true.
second disenchant on the Ivory Tower.
Oh, we're thinking about it.
This is amazing.
Save it.
So double vision charm, double disenchant. This is who needs dreadnoughts when you can gain 12 life instead of dealing 12 life. This is just like okay, so late game days. This is fantastic.
I wonder if I would have let that one go. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure why we're protecting it that much. Like Lanny doesn't really have a clock. Like if you had like a 2/2 out or something, I'd be like more inclined to keep the tower. But
Well, that's the thing. It's like Lanny's hand, or half of his hand, and then the Vision Charm is kind of important for your Brain Freeze plan.
yeah, I mean each Vision Charm represents 7 cards decked, right?
Yeah. I just really enjoy putting myself into a player seat and thinking like, would I let it go? Would I do this? But I probably would let it go. But again, we don't know Marc's full plan.
Yeah, and like, maybe if Marc was at 7 cards or something, then maybe he would be more inclined to start like, using his cards so that he didn't discard. But he's not there yet, so.
Right,
Okay, so Lanny has a Dryad.
Let's deploy that now.
Okay, so
I would let it go. You can let that get in for a couple turns.
Yeah, especially with the tower.
Yeah.
I feel like he will now try to put out the powder keg.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe he's contemplating hard gas foil.
Don't do it, Marc. Let it go. The Mox is not looking good in Lanny's hand. I agree with you, Fran. Is Lanny still? I know Gro-a-tog would play foil here and there. Does he cut foils?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I don't know if he still runs them or not, or maybe just one.
Okay, I feel like this is good portent for Lanny.
Yeah,
There's some 2 threats and some ways to reload, so this is definitely a good one. Hey Tom, I gotta run real quick, but I just want to say thank you for letting me commentate with you. And thanks to Andrew and Will for setting up the stream, and then also for Jared and Dave for organizing LOBSTERCon. I'll catch you all in chat soon.
It was a pleasure, man.
All right, take care.
See it. He's back. Yeah, he's back. Oh, this is right up your alley, Will. Yeah, huge shout out to. I don't actually know if he plays Premodern anymore. Sven Lutz. I think he was the one that was like the one that figured out it's a good sideboard plan for Dreadnought because it was not a thing before that. And then Alvaro and myself kind of got our feet wet with that deck list.
On the stream. Hi, guys.
There he is. He's back.
I'm back. Hi. All right, we're going to keep trying to get these life totals updated here. So, I really, really enjoy the pace that Marc is taking. He found an interesting line on how to approach this matchup that currently, like the composition of Lanny's hand, is not well suited to deal with. At this point, though, if he is on a brain freeze plan, I don't think he can afford to be playing his cantrips and stuff. He needs to keep that, in my opinion, unless he absolutely has to do it. So he's at 10. There we go. We're getting that going. How big is that Dryad right now? It's 3/3 right now. It looks like.
Yeah, and he's casting another 3/3. Now that Call the Herd looks really good here with the powder keg just having to do double. Which what are you gonna go after? Definitely gonna want to put that thing on 2.
Yeah, you think so? I think dealing with the Call the Herd tokens may be better than dealing with the Dryad. Eventually.
Oh, maybe that's right. He's boomerang in hand. I forgot.
Oh, he had the boomerang. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he has a boomerang in hand, which, let Dryad do its thing.
Absolutely. time will start becoming a factor because I think we are creeping up on. We have 10 minutes left in the round, or about 11, little under 11 minutes left in the round. So time is going to be a factor here.
Okay.
So if he needs to, the thing about the Brain Freeze plan in this is it's a great plan in Mono Blue Dreadnought, but it takes a lot to set up. So he needs to find a way to make a move now so he has a chance to get into game 3. Swings coming in here, down to 20 from Marc. Have you had a chance to play much against Gat at all, or any more insight and personal experience with this matchup at all, Tom?
Not lately,
Okay.
but like not many people really play it. I mean, I've only playing a lot like Magic Online.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did play the deck, and then hearing out Lanny of like on this matchup specifically, it is heavily favored on Gat, and I remember that when I was playing it. I was playing it for quite a while, about 2 years ago.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Speaking of the tournament overall, as we're kind of settling in here, the atmosphere around here is amazing. And somebody said earlier, we have not, and maybe it's here, but I haven't heard much about Red Green Oath in the room at all. So I truly wonder how that is going, if it is not that prevalent, or what is going on with it.
Interesting. I mean, I would like to have saw like, or watch a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't mind that it's not there. I just love watching Premodern. So
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
any deck list, besides being last year with Parfait, is watchable.
So it looks like he is going ahead and ticking up that powder keg, trying to get it up to 2 to take care of that Dryad. Pop. Yep, the Dryad is gone, leaving a token here. Back down to 20 goes Flore from an elephant token. Lanny playing slow and consistent. I mean, there's no way he does not know it's the Brain Freeze plan right now. There's no way he has not figured that out. All right. Did we lose Tom, or Tom maybe doing
I'm
something?
here.
Oh,
I'm
no,
here.
I
Yeah,
understood what happened. I got you.
Yeah. No, I think I told you, right? I traveled for work this week,
Yep.
which is why I couldn't. So I got home. I was able to leave early, but
Oh,
my kids now are trying to,
take the
distract
time.
them.
Yeah, no, I get you. Well, we'll let you get back to the kids here after this matchup, hopefully. Or if you need to step away, we can always jump in. But Meddling Mage coming down. A foil looks like it was is being attempted right now. One would have to bet this Meddling Mage says Brain Freeze if it resolves.
Yes. So I think Lenny knows now too, right?
There's
He
no way
boarded
he
out all
can't.
of his dreadnoughts.
Yeah, just the way that he's played it. And I think I might actually see a Dreadnought in his hand. He's got
he has the one that he boarded out 3.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if this Meddling Mage resolves, and because he's already resolved a boomerang in this matchup, I believe, correct? From Marc. If he has, this
Yep.
Meddling Mage naming freeze is going to put a real damper on the spirit. And it looks like Lanny is so ready to write this down. It's not in his repertoire, which means he is writing down Brain Freeze. It's not in his prepared bag, it looks like. I'm assuming that's a... Oh, there you go. Brain. What is that? I can't tell what he's writing. Ken? Oh, he named Keg. Really? Really? I don't think that can be right. Maybe. 25 for Flore, 9 for Lanny. Naming Keg does not seem right there, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Maybe, but like, he's running out of time to really make a dent. Like, this Ivory Tower is a whole problem. and this is perfect. Like, he's going to gain, in theory, 12 from this Dreadnought. As chat said, that's going to give him plenty of time. But again, this is going to turn into a draw if that is how that goes. It's like we're at 25 there. Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Andrew, I think we may have lost Tom for a second. You're back in.
Whew.
All right. We should be able to give us a talk there, Andrew.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to do a battle with. Maybe not.
No.
But that's the only one That's the only one you think he has still in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just happy to gain 12. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Lanny's up 1-0. Sorry, I'm so used to Moto. Sorry. No, you're 100% right, guys. I'm sorry. I'm used to timeouts. I'm too much Moto. Lanny is a 1-0 win.
Shit, 37.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got a Dreadnought. So, I would assume then Marc is playing for. I don't like that either. No, I don't underestimate the brain freezes. Like, I think you get there. I think if the plan is brain freeze right now, like, why are you impulsing on the not brain freeze turn? That doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. He's obviously in the match. I am not. This looks like it is going to come down to the brain freeze, without a shadow of a doubt. About 4 minutes left in the round as we stand. 35 to 8 currently. Hammy Bone, don't even joke about that possibility of turning 12-12 into stasis or stasis into 12-12 after board. It's been tried. It's not amazing. It's fun. Freeze has been found. So we're on,
6.
Swinging for 6. Like, life total's not going to matter right here. Like, he's either going to have it or he's not. We do not. I mean, we can take a healthy guess that a brain freeze for Gush is still missing.
15.
Finding a Gush is going to be great. Oh, I don't like him portenting right there.
All right, I'm back. What's going on here?
We're building up into a brain freeze turn. We got a couple of we found the brain freeze. We got a couple of charms in hand. Marc is portenting a Shrimp got swords to gain essentially Marc 12 life. I mean, it looks like we're heading to. It looks like we are heading to brain freeze plan for the draw. Is what it looks like.
Okay.
Casting Gush.
Oh, this could be bad for him.
Does Lanny, if he knows what's up, does he want to be trying to draw cards right here? Like, adding to a
hard
storm
cast.
count?
He hardcast, so he's not chaining it this turn.
Yeah. Interesting.
If he'd bounced lands and that, he might have tried to go off and then lose to the brain freeze.
Maybe. Lanny down to 6. We got 32 from Marc. All right. I'm Tom, does it still truly surprise you that Lanny named Keg with that meddling mage? That seems so weird to me. I don't know. I'd love your perspective.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to think of why he would do that. Knowing what was it? Did he do that before the Dreadnought was cast?
Yeah, he cast that way before the Dreadnought.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to step away.
Yeah, no. And again, I don't know why. See, now he can't freeze. He doesn't unless he hasn't. Is this his turn? I can't remember.
Yeah, he played Impulse on his main, I think.
On his main, has he made his land drop? I can't imagine. Gush found. I don't. Okay, I mean, we're going to see how this plays out. I keep questioning how Marc is playing out these spells and trying to do what he's doing, but that's just neither here nor there.
Wait, the
Brain
keg
freeze
thing
got
makes
too.
sense if he doesn't put him on brain freeze, right?
But there's no way with the way he's playing. I mean, there is a way, sure. But with the way that he's playing and Lanny being as good as he is, it would astound me if that was not the consideration.
Is it 2 brain freezes he brings in?
I'm not sure how many he brings in. It's this one, maybe 2. Does Lanny maybe have like a Gaia's Blessing in his deck? Like, did he do it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, he's got green for it. Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be spicy.
That would be hilarious.
I mean, I would never play Gaia's Blessing in a deck that shouldn't have it. All right, so that looks like, is that time in the round?
Yep.
That was time in the round, has been called. So we're looking at a draw or bust here. All right. So we got a swing in here. Oop, my notification is getting in the way of them.
This is turn 0, or
I think this is turn 0. I mean, he's got time. We're at 24. I can't imagine Lanny has like a stifle to deal with this.
yeah, Lane only gets 2 more attack phases.
Right? I'm going to actually have to check that in between this round and hook it up to its power source. There's a Sabo's Web.
Sabo's Web's interesting.
I mean, it's a
Wow.
cantrip. I don't know what it's doing in this matchup. Unless it's something like...
I'm
I can
not
see
sure
Marc
either.
just not having enough to side out.
Yeah, I guess.
So Marc is really taking his time. He's going to do this brain freeze at the last second. Or on the last turn. Oh, please, Lanny, don't play that. Don't use that Coliseum. If he uses this column, Tom, you're right. He's so locked in, he's forgot about brain freeze.
That's just the only thing that would kind of make sense. Like he just completely forgot about it.
Yeah. All right. So, and this is the penultimate turn, I believe, coming up here.
Turn 3, so yeah.
Turn 3. He has to do it now because Lanny's turn 4 and he's turn 5. Lanny won't get another turn, right? This is turn 3.
This is end of turn 3. So Lanny has 1 chance in turn 4 to push for the win.
Yeah.
He could do instance and split it up between the end step and on his turn, just so the brain freeze isn't that big.
Yeah, he has to do it now. All right, so here, yep, he's doing it now. All right, so Gush. And I think at this point, Lanny may now get it if he hasn't gotten it already.
Yeah. Lanny can't come back. Like, wait, so Lanny has the last turn, but he can't swing for. He can't hit 19, right?
He can't hit 19, but he needs to do it now to get through it.
To stop that from happening.
Yeah, I can't imagine this is, unless he's got a stifle or has a blessings in the deck, which would be amazing to see, by the way. But Marc also has a possible stifle if he's worried about that. I don't know if he has in his hand, but
I don't see a stifle.
I don't see it either. So I mean, this is the moment. He just has to go for it. No hemming and hawing. Storm count is 3. Lanny's doing the storm count, it looks like.
Yeah, Lanny's library looks pretty thin.
Yeah. I mean, Ivory Tower, to Chat's point, has done remarkable work in this matchup. Friendly Ferret, I'm not 100% sure where we have to get to with it.
Yeah, Mark, yeah, wait, I'll say you don't want to use that boomerang because
No.
you only have 6 mana left. Oh, yep. So mill, brain freeze.
And Lanny's got the head in the hands a little bit.
He knows now.
Yeah, the double brain freeze is going to do it. And that's definitely going to do it. Does he have a blessings? Come on. Nope, that's it.
Nope.
Um,
Got a 1/1 draw.
yeah, it's going to
No, it's going to be a win because he can't draw on turn 4. He loses because of inability to draw.
Yep, he loses. So this will end up in a 1-1 draw. Lanny versus Marc Flore. Tom, tell us about that match. What are you thinking? How do you feel?
I'm sure Lanny would love to go back in time.
Yeah.
And
rename the keg. Or rename
Yeah.
That's
keg
the
to
only
a
thing
brain
that
freeze.
sticks out. I mean, but Lanny's a good enough player. Like there has to be a reason why that happened.
No, I feel for Lanny a little bit because I wonder if he just got away from him. Like he just completely he just missed it. But because he's a really good player, I think sometimes that happens.
Yeah, and McLean is right as well. Mark may have also had Did he have the boomerang in hand for the meddling mage if need be?
Yeah, he had it for a while.
All right, so that's fair enough. So it was a great match, guys. We're gonna take a second here, get reset for round number 6 coming up. Tom, thank you so much for being with us, man. It is always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thanks for having me. I gotta head
Always.
to soccer practice.
All right, you enjoy, my friend. We will talk to you soon. And for everyone out there, 344 of you watching, you're amazing. We'll be back with round 6 shortly. Everybody, take care.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.